I'm here with OneGreatBastard, OGB. What up with you?
Yes, sir. What's good, man? How you doing?
Good, bro. Appreciate you for tapping in,
Yes, sir.
talking with me, man. And yeah, like kind of first for folks that aren't familiar with you, what's the idea behind like OneGreatBastard? Like you seem like a pretty chill dude. It's like, you know what I mean? So it's like what's is there any symbolism with that?
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I always feel like every person I come across is great. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel, being a bastard and a junior, I feel like that kind of, leads into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, my pops, we have a very, rocky relationship. He a cool dude, but we just have a rocky relationship. So,
got you.
I think a lot of my identity came in, being around my mom, being around the strong women in my family, being around the strong men in my family as well.
For sure.
But I felt like I wanted my name to represent that.
Yeah.
Just take it in different spin on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely stems from that. And I feel like I'm just, when I put the one in front of it, it's like I'm just one of many. You know what I mean?
Word.
Like, it's a lot of great bastards out here. So, I really just wanted to give it praise to that while also again highlighting the family. You know?
Yeah. That's definitely that's real interesting. Like that's a new take on that, because usually when rappers refer to that, it's a lot of that's coming from a place of pain and like anger and all that, and the fact that you're able to have that part of your identity, but kind of like mold it in your own image. Like that's really beautiful, bro.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's important to change, because in your adulthood, right, you can manifest and change the world that you have around you. You know what I mean? As a child, you more so like you're in the world, but your parents kind of predetermine a lot of things. So
Facts.
When I feel like putting a name on, one of my homies loved it when I told him, that's the name I'm going with. But deeper than that, it was like when I really, started calling myself that, it just got a great response. People were like, OGB.
Yeah,
so
that's catchy, bro.
It's very catchy.
That's catchy, bro.
Very, very catchy, bro. So it's crazy. I'll be walking down the street and, sometimes people will just yell it out. And to me, it's become like a term of endearment, the 3 letters. So I try to keep it in that. But again, it's all about creating that, creating that world for yourself in your adulthood. Because as a kid, it'd be a lot of shit. You be around, you be like, all right.
All right. Cool, bro.
Literally, it's like, all right, word,
That's it, man.
For sure.
Yeah. Cool, bro. I appreciate you, opening up there, sharing that.
For sure.
And that's a dope story. And so you from Maryland, like you grew up here?
Oh yeah. Grew up in Fort Washington first, and then Oxon Hill.
Yeah.
And then I moved to DC really young, like 19, 20. I had been doing poetry in my high school, and I got exposed to performing in DC through that. Like, I went to Busboys and Poets.
For sure.
And from there, it was kind of like, I got to be out here. So my mom ain't want me catching the train. And the Maryland buses start running at like 7 p.m. Bro. So it's like, I wanted to be in the scene. So moved myself to DC, started hitting a whole lot of scenes, shit like open mics, performances, people just asking me to spit. I got a lot of exposure that way.
For sure.
Yeah. And then, Baltimore, lastly, that's something that started in the last 2-3 years. Happy to continue that. Shout out to Astroknot Collective.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something I was going to ask you about later on. Yeah. And then, I think, a lot of people call, or I don't know if it's like everywhere, but people here definitely call Baltimore the poetry capital of the world.
Yeah,
like it's been like kind of thrown around a lot. And, wanted to get your take on, because even in your IG bio, you a rapping ass nigga, you a poet ass nigga, right? So real interested to talk a little bit about like that duality that you bring to your artwork.
Absolutely. It's something that I feel like has refined my pen. you know, being a poet first.
Yeah.
And then tapping into my rap side, you know, later on. I still, you know, write poetry when I can, but
yeah,
I think it's been something that's been helpful for me to have both sides. It just allows me to be more creative, more intentional, you know.
For sure.
Now, it's something that, again, I had to really work at because, you know, writing poems and writing songs, they're similar, but they're different. You know, songs have more cadence, more rhythm, you know.
Yeah.
You're trying to leave people with more one-liners as opposed to, like, an overall message, you know. So it took some refinement, but, man, I used to walk around freestyling with my homies, and that's really what I think, you know, molded that craft. So shout out to good friends, man. Rapping ass friends.
Hell yeah, rapping ass friends. Shout out. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like I write poetry as well.
Yes, sir.
I started on like the spoken word route. So like I was a theater kid growing up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a natural transition to spoken word, and you know it's really refreshing to see people taking that approach to like blending poetry.
Yeah, all the arts I feel like are intertwined somehow. You know, there's one aspect of, because I'm starting to teach theater now as well.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so I feel like it's very similar to like spoken word poetry. You know, spoken word poetry may be a little closer related to rap, but they're all you know kind of intertwined. But there's definitely those strokes in all of them. Shout out to being the theater kid. You know?
Hey, shout out to theater kids, bro.
Yeah, man. They make the world go round. Again,
they really do.
They really make the world go round, bro. It's a lot of creativity there, you know. It's a lot of creativity there, but yeah, I think to also pivot back to what you were saying earlier, I do think Baltimore is a poetry capital for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of great OGs from Baltimore and from DC that, you know, I was fortunate to meet that kind of helped.
Definitely.
You know, keep the fire going. It'd be hard some days, bro. You know? You're looking at the pad like, this shit ain't moving nothing. Yeah. You know, this shit ain't moving my situation, you know, and it's like taking that I feel like having good game will help you take that bitterness out of it, you know. Especially when you're waiting on shows, bro. It'd be tough. Yeah. Like, all right, when the next one? Gotta go create one for yourself, you know what I mean? When the next one. So it'd be tough.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, I love that point because, like, even me not being from here, like, some of those OGs were like some of the first people I met, just going to events, like you know the DC homies, really like them folks that came up during like the 90s and like 2000s, like you know they kind of the seasoned vets now.
Absolutely.
It's amazing to see like that they're still in the community and like kind of. Taking initiative to mold the next generation, and even you go to Baltimore, you got folks like Black Chakra, you know, just walking around.
I know, he's out here. I remember seeing him perform for the first time. Yeah, like wow, the pen is insane, bro.
It's ridiculous.
But, I mean, you got Ibrahim.
Yeah.
You got
Slangston.
Yeah, Lyrical Leviathan.
Yeah.
Whatever mode he feel like coming out in. It's so many. Again, it's so many different types of poets too.
Yeah.
You know.
Obsidian.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a lot of good Baltimore poets. So definitely can't sleep on that area being a poetry capital. I understand the name.
Like it's really, you know, it's really like that.
Yeah,
you know?
it's really sad, bro.
And folks that, you know, really consume spoken word, even outside of the area, like they know, like there's a certain brand that comes with being a Baltimore poet and Baltimore lyricist just in general. So.
Absolutely. I feel like they hold their artists to a higher standard.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
Everybody can't just get on the mic. Yeah, you know? They looking for you to say something for real.
Yeah, bro. Like on some Apollo type shit.
Like, like they'll hook you, bro.
They'll really kick you out, boot you out, bro.
They get crazy, but I love that. I do love that atmosphere.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely, man, definitely. And then kind of transitioning to talk about this single you just dropped.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of talking like off the record about how the reception's been. Could you go into, you know, any specific feedback that you heard? Like, what's been the overall kind of, you know, message that you've been getting from listeners?
No, for sure. People have been loving it. I think I appreciate all the people that have, it's been a lot of emojis, a lot of flame emojis. So it's like, all right, keep going, keep going. And I appreciate, shout out to Basic the Bassist and Thrice King, because they're the ones behind me on a lot of these tracks now.
Yeah.
They do amazing work, so I just gotta always shout them out. But the reception's been good, just trying to get more people's awareness on it.
For sure.
But other than that, it's just telling me to keep going. And sometimes I think that's one thing as artists we can do is we can get in our own way. In terms of like telling ourselves, ain't nobody listening, ain't nobody hearing it, bro. Sit on it. And it's been good to get this stuff out, and hopefully get y'all more, but
definitely.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, and then kind of going more into it. So there's a line you have on your I think it's the chorus where you go. I think it Hood Holy Ghost left his ops comatose. Drop bastard name. It'll linger same as tree smoke.
Yeah, that's right.
That motherfucker. And that shit crazy. There's so much like imagery like just I'm getting from that.
Nah, for sure. For sure.
If you don't mind like kind of breaking that down and
nah, for sure.
Kind of just what what that means to the song, what it makes the song about.
For sure. So I kind of wanted the song to be like, you see those guys? Like they're all amazing. Look at what this guy can do. Look at what this guy can do. Kind of like the Holy Ghost. Like people catching the Holy Ghost is a rare thing.
Yeah.
It's like this experience, and when it happens, it's attention drawing. So the chorus kind of builds on that. Comatose. I'm leaving people mesmerized.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
That's
I'm trying to leave people mesmerized when they see me. Name holds weight, so drop my name, it'll linger like tree smoke, weed smoke, whatever you want to call it.
Shit heavy.
Yeah, I forget.
It pack heavy, man.
Sure,
bastard pack.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you really don't got. I mean, that one's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But it's important. It's important to let people know, bro.
Yeah.
I don't got many concerns left. Tread carefully.
Yeah. Be careful, man.
That's why it's really a warning.
Yeah.
But the song is like, again, just trying to bring awareness to that. Like, oh my goodness. Who are these dudes?
Yeah.
Had to spit that thing so fast to get it on time.
Y'all niggas is racing on that motherfucker.
On that beat. Yeah, man. Yeah. But that's what I love about music. It's very, to me, it's like, all right, how can I make this sound cool? How can I make I gotta make all these bars, all these thoughts, all this shit sound like something that people would want to move to, want to dance to,
Yeah.
And so that's what I hope I did with that one. But again,
sure.
it's chorus is very intentional. Chorus is very intentional.
Yeah.
3 different messages wrapped in one chorus.
Yeah, for real. Motherfucking triple entendre, like dead ass. Yeah, that's dope, man.
I appreciate that. Trying to show the pen off a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, niggas right.
Niggas right.
Niggas right.
It's a writer here,
You know what I'm saying? Poet, please.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. And then to talk a little bit about the Astroknot Collective.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about your involvement with that and what part has like the Baltimore, Maryland community played in building that up to be what it is now?
Oh, for sure. I mean, shout out to the Astroknot Collective. I joined at a time where they were refocusing what they were about, and we all kind of agreed together like, I mean, one, we're all kind of dope individually, but two, it was like, I support you, they support me, it's like, how can we support each other better?
Facts.
And through that, it was, collabing on shows, whether it was them, I shouldn't say them, whether it was us throwing the show or not, or us just sponsoring the event, what I mean? Us just being there and supporting another artist.
Right.
We were really trying to make sure we saw a lot of people in Baltimore, as many Baltimore artists as possible. Yeah. And in our last event space, the Portal, before it closed down, there were actually about 400 artists that had touched the Portal stage.
Wow.
From its opening to its closing. So it was like I wanted to go meet that community. You know, I've always been fond of the Baltimore poetry community. I was like, the rap scene gotta be just as dope.
Yeah.
You know, and I was blessed to go to a show at the Portal before I was a member of that collective, and I was just tapped in from there. I was like, oh, y'all looking for people to help? Man, go help. You know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to refocus? You know, let's refocus. And everybody in the collective is about two things, bro. Just business, right? How can we do the best business for each other? How can we get the most out of, you know, our resources? And then uplifting each other, like, yo, you need to go drop that music. Yeah. You know, they be right in my ear, bro. Like, hey, when you want to drop it, let me know. We got, you know, resources here, we got resources there. Let's tap in. And it's been really good for, I feel like, the second wind of my career. You know, like I kind of got, I don't want to say I got started in music really young, but I got started performing really young. Yeah. And you know, people see you in one thing, you know, they see you in one light, you know, they might not see you in the next light. Agree with you know what I mean? Yeah. And so Baltimore has kind of been like, again, it's a great hub. It's a great energetic space. There's a lot of dope talent coming out of there, and it's just been welcoming to me. You know what I mean? They've been welcoming me with love, so I just stay out there. You know, now it's like, you know, before it was like, all right, I'm gonna just go, you know, to a couple shows. Now it's like, bro, I don't know if I'm a lead out here the way.
Shango thought you was from Baltimore.
Nah, I was about to say, you know, I'm so deep out there now, bro. Niggas think I'm from there. I got people who think I'm from DC. Yeah. You know, I like to keep the illusion going. I don't even like the I don't even like to correct it sometimes, but nah. Facts. It's cool, bro. It's really cool because the people out there, like Shango, are dope. You know what I mean? Everybody out there is like, bro, I like you. I like what you're saying. I like what you about. You know, sometimes it can get too political, bro. Yeah. You know, so I respect them because they not on that. It changes the entire experience. It changes your entire, you know, experience with the space. So it's cool, man. It's cool.
It's beautiful, bro.
Nah, I appreciate that. It's a cool community out there, bro. For real, like it's a really good.
It's love, bro.
It's love, and it's crazy different vibes. Yeah, you know, you got some like jump around. You know, we got cypher type artists. You got the trap vibes. Yeah. You got the sexy trap vibes. It's a lot of different things coming out of Baltimore. So I just be wanting to tap into the different sounds and the different people that are out there. Yeah, you know, it's a great community. It's a really great community.
I definitely second. Third, fourth, fifth, that, you know. So I agree, man, because absolutely, that's honestly what's kept me in the area, like, you know. I'm like, it's shit smooth.
Every time I think about, you know, venturing off or you know, I'll vacation, but I don't know if I live somewhere else. It's just it's just too much going on everywhere. It's like, bro, I want to tap in. Yeah, you know, it's certain Baltimore artists I still haven't tapped in with. Yeah, you know, it's like I want to go create, and especially with the venues out there, it's a lot of venues that haven't, a lot of stages out there I haven't touched, bro. Yeah, like, bro, it's like untapped. Yeah, untapped potential for real. Yeah, it's like let me go ahead and see what they got going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But and just to piggyback on the collective, they do a lot of cool events. I know we got a all women's event coming up this month. Yeah, so. It's gonna be really dope. Got a dope lineup on that, you know. But again, the collective is just very tight, you know, tight knit. You know, even though everybody from everywhere, you know, everybody's from different.
Yeah, we need more of that shit, man.
Yeah, but
more of that.
Nah, for real. People coming in collectively for the right reasons. You know, it's like, all right, how can we build together? Yeah, you know, and what can we build together? You know, I think that's the other thing, bro. Is figuring that shit out. Sometimes I know everybody think it's gonna be the Migos, bro. Yeah, like, all right, niggas gonna come in, we gonna get in the booth instantly. That shit gonna connect. You know,
right? Freestyle, fuck around.
Nah, for real. And again, no disrespect to that. That's cool, but it'd be a whole lot of real life shit going on, bro. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole lot of, you know. I know I had a lot of shit going on in my family the last 2 years. Word. You know, and so same with other members. You know. Yeah, just whole lot going on. It'd be hard to get into that suit, bro. You know, but we try to support each other through that, and I think that's what makes it, you know, the collective as magical as it is. At least to me, like I find a lot of beauty in that. In the collective, I find a lot of beauty in the team, and in the intentions. I just want to be clear on that. Yeah, like the intentions are always good, bro. You know,
for sure. Yeah, definitely. And you know, next we'll leave it off with anything you want to promote, shout out, anything, you know, you want to plug that we left out?
Oh yeah, nah, for sure. I mean, I got another single, Nympho, that's gonna be dropping real soon.
For sure.
That's the next single off my upcoming project, You Be Here When I Won.
Ooh,
so
okay.
Look out for that. It's coming out soon. Yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be really dope.
Yeah.
I don't want to overpromise other than that, you know, but yeah, you know, people know where to find me. Tap in with me, you know. I got a website. Tap in with the website. It's under my name, but that's it.
All right, cool. Straight like that.